Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma again. Our heroes today are going to be Tristan, playing for the Germans. And his opponent, this time around, is going to be Ir0nRoman. It's been a while since we've seen him as far as replays go, so it'll be nice. Although I did cast some of his games in the Sunday night fight, so I guess it's not that long, but whatever. So anyways, yeah, Kholodny Ferma. It's going to take a while here for action to kick off, so let's take a look at both of our players. Both players pretty good. They're actually top 100 on both of their, factions. Ir0nRoman, at the time of casting this, is currently ranked 73 for the Soviets, and Tristan is ranked 78 for his Germans. So a pretty well evenly matched match. So yeah, excellent. Hopefully this means we're going to be seeing an excellent game for their part right now. Build order wise, we have Ir0nRoman, not getting any tech, just going for conscripts, what you would usually expect. And Tristan, for his part, is getting tier 1 units, building tier 1 with his initial Pio, getting 2 Grenadiers and an MG42 as his third unit, second Grenadier currently hitting the field. We also see that Ir0nRoman has already selected his Doctrine, and that is the Guard Rifle Combined Arms Tactics. So yeah, we've seen him do this before, so we should be seeing some pretty standard play in this sense. So anyways, first engagement up here in the northern strategic point. Conscripts and Grenadiers duking it out. Grenadiers are in heavy cover, managing to get some pot shots off on those conscripts before they close the distance. But Molotov's now landing right on top of the Grenadiers. Grenadiers do manage to well, actually no, one of them decides to run into the fire while the other one was standing in the fire and burst the flame. Down to one man on the retreat. Very, very bad engagement there for Tristan. Sends in a second Grenadier squad to replace them, but the Grenadier squad decides to as well run through the fire, taking some unnecessary damage there, but it does manage to push away that conscript squad down to 2 men, but it only retreats and heads back to the house. Remember, that is a little bit riskier nowadays, considering that houses do not provide as much of a defensive bonus as they once did, so keep that in mind. So, Grens continue to push forward, set themselves up in heavy cover, and are opening fire on the house. The conscripts inside will be taking quite a bit of damage. Up north, piles are just moving around, capturing points. And down south, we see that Ir0nRoman is sending his squads just simply to capture territory. MG42 now on the field, sets up behind the Grenadier squads, opening up on the center in this munitions point. The 2-man conscript squad jumps out of the house and stands by the exit behind it, avoiding any fire taking on them, but not retreating. A very risky maneuver there for Ir0nRoman, because this squad is very low in health, jumps back into the house once it sees the point being taken, but the MG42 is going to set up to aim at it. Grenadiers move into heavy cover, although the heavy cover is denied from this angle. And the conscripts are now very low in health, now getting shot by the MG42, down to 1 man. Conscript squad taking another burst, might be going down. The Grenadiers are getting a little bit distracted here by the conscript, but this Grenadier squad is right there in time and shoots down that conscript squad. So a unfortunate loss there for Ir0nRoman. Kept that 2-man squad on the field a little bit too long. Second conscript squad now moving in, sees the Grenadiers already set up in heavy cover, shooting at them as they approach, so they back off and set themselves up in the cover of that fence. Little light cover, but they are now backpedaling and going away. Up north, Grants and conscripts engaging in long range, and down south we see an engagement from Grenadiers and conscripts. 1 Grenadier squad goes down for Tristan, so nice pickup there for Ir0nRoman, evening it up after losing his conscript. So, build-wise right now, it's 3 Grenadiers to 4 conscripts. A 4th conscript was built for Ir0nRoman to replace his loss. Not sure if he was going originally for 5, but well, he has already built 5 at this point. Likewise, Tristan was getting himself 4 Grenadiers and an MG42, so yeah, investing a little bit more into that early tier. Pioneers in the center for Tristan do go for the cutoff, manage to actually cap the point completely. Molotov landing right on top of them from the aggressing conscripts, forcing them to evacuate and run out of the field. MG42 now running to the center. He's going to go and try to dislodge those conscripts, capturing the strategic point. But the conscripts will be able to capture the point in time, and might even be able to get out of the range. Grenadier squad now heading through the center to that cutoff point. MG42 opens up on the conscripts as they approach. Suppression going down as the bulletin, not the bulletin, as the MG42 has received a small buff, 10% increase suppression, and it manages to catch those conscripts, forcing them away. 1 man goes down at the last minute, or last second, to 1 MG42 burst. And the Grenadiers getting an LMG upgrade go for the cutoff point, so now Ir0nRoman is in a little bit of a tough spot with the entire south currently cut off. Out in the entrance of his base, combat engineers with flamethrowers are harassing this grenadier squad. Grenadiers, however, are clumped up, all three of them in the same spot, taking quite a bit of damage. One of them goes down to the flames, running in agony and dying on the outside part of the battlefield, but manages to push out the combat engineer squad and stays alive. MG42 sets up to cover the approach as the conscripts are running to try to get the cutoff point, but they get suppressed on the open road and are forced to fall back. Combat engineer squad as well, retreating through the arc fire of the MG42, taking some heavy damage as they run. One man falling, but 2 men left make it out alive. Up north, we see a grenadier squad at 1 man retreating. There are conscripts with CPSAs now on the field. Changes to the doctrines is that the command points are now gained as twice as fast, but you generally need twice as many points as you would have before, which, you know, adds up to being about the same. Some things were changed, however, to make it more appropriate to what the designers had in mind. For example, guard rifles are costing 1, so meaning that they can come out pretty fast now. You don't, in half the time, essentially. But PPSAs are now costing 2 instead of 1, which is essentially the same cost as 1 before. So they come out at the same time, but the guards are able to be called in a little bit sooner. So, you know, little adjustments there that I actually like. I mean, it's weird the way they did it with, you know, just increasing basically the amount of victory points or command points, but you know, it gets the job done. It's an okay change. I like it. It gives you a little bit more flexibility as far as adjusting or balancing commanders. Anyways, MG42 over here on the northern side, getting flanked by a conscript squad, getting mauled alive, and ended up retreating quite instantly. Grenadiers capturing the munitions point are going to get assaulted by those conscripts with PPSAs, and they do not actually manage to capture the point. They decide to backpedal and get themselves behind heavy cover, nailing one of those conscripts as they approach, but a second Grenadier squad is coming in for support, but a second conscript squad is coming in to intercept it. Hit the dirt is used on these conscripts, giving them defensive bonus out in the open, and forcing that Grenadier squad to retreat. The second Grenadier squad as well retreats since there were 2 conscript squads to deal with, so a full rout from the north for Tristan. Down south, we see a Grenadier squad as well retreating. Sir Ir0nRoman not letting out on the pressure, doing a lot of damage and bringing 5 conscript squads out on the field, so 6 built in total. We can see here with the new stats implemented that Ir0nRoman has inflicted slightly more damage, not a lot, about 100 more damage. Well, actually less. It's about 50.
Enemy forces are secure. The enemy has broken our supply
about 50 more damage than Tristan, which is not a lot considering. You can see right there how the damage stacks up with the burst of the MG42, but kills wise 21 to 19, so Tristan has actually killed a little bit more units, but that is not squads, that is just individual units. Combat engineers, pioneers heading into the center, running into the combat engineers. One of them instantly bursts the flame, and we have a half-track on the field for Tristan, so tier 2 already down, and that half-track will help out his grenadiers, considering he got himself 4. Losing 1, which means 5, so again, a heavy investment in tier 1 for both players, tier 1 and tier 0 respectively. Ir0nRoman has yet to build anything back at base, so he is floating quite a bit of manpower now. Could utilize the manpower to build some fuel caches if he wanted to speed up the teching, or, well, should build more stuff, get a guard rifle squad right now would actually be great considering that there is a half-track on the field. But yeah, he's at about 600 manpower, which, you know, generally you don't want to be floating that much. So half-track just moving around in the center, being used for support rather than aggression. Do we see the flamethrower? There we go. Flamethrower upgrade is now upgraded on the half-track, which means that it's going to be quite more aggressive. Now there is a conscript squad up in the northern munitions point that is going to get burnt alive by that half-track if it doesn't get out of the way. And there it goes, instantly retreating. There goes the flame burst, catching one of those conscripts instantly. And the remaining... oh, 1 more goes down, so 3 of them remain alive. And the half-track continues to push. Far north, conscript squad is going for the fuel point and hitting the dirt. A little bit of a questionable tactic there, considering the half-track is nearby, but the half-track decides to ignore the north and is now heading straight into the center. Going to support the Grenadiers that are capturing the cutoff point. The Grenadiers are getting assaulted by PPSAs. Down to 2 men, forced to retreat. One thing that could have been done here by Tristan is just simply backpedaling a little bit, although it was risky, and getting inside the half-track. 18-8 goes off on the half-track, getting the crit on the engine, but the conscripts are taking quite a beating and are not capable of capturing the strategic point, meaning that the south is once again cut off for Ir0nRoman. Back at base, we now see Tier 1 going down for Ir0nRoman, meaning that he is probably going to be getting Tier 4. Considering the amount of fuel that he has, I'm not sure he's going to be getting anything from Tier 1. It's just a stepping stone and the cheapest one at that. MG42 opening up in the north to the conscripts that captured that fuel. And we also have an LMG in the center. This Grand Squad could use with some reinforcements. And the half-track also could use with some repairs. Panzer Grenadiers on the field, however, now for Tristan, heading straight into the center, but now they turn around and are going to head up north to support that MG42 that is going to get flanked by the Guard Rifle. Guard Rifle going to move into range and throw an aid on the MG42. MG42 packs up quite instantly and gets out of there, so no nade or anything was tossed by the squads. Panzer Grenadiers now right on top of the Guard Rifle, doing a lot of damage to these squads. Bundle A goes down on top of the Guard Rifle, doing some damage, but also splash damaging the Panzer Grenadiers. Guard Rifle ends up retreating, and the conscripts hitting the dirt right in front of the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers continue to push forward, gonna get right on top of the conscripts. They get themselves into heavy cover, although two of the men are on the wrong side of the cover, but they're inflicting so much damage on the conscripts that they force them out of the field. Explosion was heard somewhere, but I don't know exactly where. Conscripts push forward, gonna get in range of the half-track once again. There goes the flamethrower, both guns firing off at once. And the conscripts are taking quite a beating. LMG Grant's getting up right behind the conscript squad. Is he going to be able to clean it off? Veterans E2 acquired on the conscript. They hit return, but instantly get killed on the retreat. And another loss for Ir0nRoman. A little bit too greedy there. Didn't even throw an 18-8, which is kind of questionable. But, well, it is kind of difficult to focus on a lot of fronts at the same time. Down south, we have Grenadier squads just capturing, sitting there on the point, not getting queued up. Grenadiers with LMGs capturing the strategic point once again, denying the entire south, and we see Ir0nRoman focusing on the north. We have combat engineers and constant PSA just heading up north, while back at base, no additional tech is being produced. Flamethrower going off on the Grenadiers. The Grenadiers decide to retreat in the face of that engineer squad. A little bit of a poker face there on that that engineer squad. MG42 set up in a nice angle here, covering the entire approach. Shoots at those combat engineers and forces them away. Guard Rifles do manage to get range of the point here and are going to be able to capture it. A rifle nade right here on top of those guards would do a bit of damage, but with two conscripts coming in for support, the Grenadiers decide to retreat and get in range of the half-track, which they could use to reinforce. Pyos on the field are barely coming out of the base, so this half-track has not gotten repaired. Conscripts hitting the dirt right in front of the Grens. The Grens now fully reinforced, and the BTR res rifles are opening up on the half-track. The half-track is going to get some repairs on the field, maybe, but it needs to back off. Those guard rifles are going to do a lot of damage to it. It's now turning around. Hit reverse, remember, always you have that option on your card to reverse. Hit reverse and go there, and it'll at least keep them frontal armor, which isn't a big difference. Oh my god. A DP light machine gun and a PTR res rifle gets dropped on the field by the guards rifles, and the Grens are not going to go pick it up. This Grand Squad has an LMG, but it can't pick up the weapons. Can it pick up both? It can pick up a PTR res rifle, which would be great on this, although it looks like Tristan has not noticed that the weapons are there on the floor, and it's just simply moving out. Field awareness could use a little work there, but again, it's a lot easier to tell when you're observing rather than, you know, playing yourself. Anyways, MG42 manages to push up on the north and force units away from the fuel point. While the Grand Squads are duking it out against the constant squad that is currently in heavy cover from the tank, the half-track, now finally fully repaired, is going to be used to get some reinforcements out on those Grens. The Grens continue to push, clear out an entire conscript squad, and get Molotovs in the face, but they manage to just simply move out of the way and get reinforcements. So, nice move there by Tristan. Reinforcing with both, and using his Grenadiers down south just to add to the territory, slowly but steadily. So Tier 4 now down for Ir0nRoman. He's getting himself an SU-85 from that, so that SU-85 will very quickly kill that half-track if allowed to, but won't really have much else to do on the field currently. We have no additional tech on the field for Tristan, but he is getting himself the Battle Phase 2, which means, you know, probably going to be seeing Tier 3 in a little while. But, But yeah, I mean, the Su-85 won't have much to do, but at least it acts as a deterrent as far as building or producing any type of vehicles. So half-track backing off in the center, getting another 18-8 off on its face. PTRS rifle and DP light machine gun still there on the field, not getting picked up by anything. The half-track moves back and throws a flame burst off on the conscripts that kitted with the 18-8. And the half-track is just circling around in the center like a dummy. Not able to do much. Veteran C2 conscripts end up picking up the DP light machine gun and the PTRS rifle. Although, no, they actually only pick up the DP light machine gun. So again, a little bit of a wasted opportunity there for Tristan. Grenadiers jump into the house, opening up with that LMG on those guard rifles. The guard rifles are pursuing the half-track, almost able to kill it. They will be able to take it down. No, it masks itself behind the hedgerow, and we have the Su-85 just pushing forward, and will probably be the one to kill that half-track. No, actually the half-track dies to the guard rifle. The guard rifle ends up getting that victory, and the Su-85 hits the field straight into the center, and Ir0nRoman now has the lead. Damage-wise, Tristan still has inflicted a lot more. That G42, you can see they're just ripping into those infantry. 79 kills for Tristan, while Ir0nRoman has only killed 48. But, well, he currently has the vehicle advantage, which goes a long way. So, as much as these stats help, it's nice to know, doesn't actually represent the state of the game.
Soviet forces are engaging us!
So guard rifles in the center do not manage to pick up their own PTRS rifle. Grenadiers pushing forward. Are they finally going to pick up that PTRS rifle? No, it looks like Tristan is not interested in picking up a PTRS rifle. That could potentially start plinking away at that Su-85, even though it won't potentially kill it, but it, can do something.
We are losing the sector.
And these conscripts are the one with DP light machine gun, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, there it is. DP light machine gun and PPSHs. So a lot of anti-infantry firepower on that veteran C2 conscript squad. So very nice. So Ir0nRoman backs off from the center. Notices he doesn't have anything on the field to be able to hold it. And we have Tristan just capturing points and moving back out. Oh, interesting. Tier 4 now down for Tristan, so he's not going Tier 3. So we'll probably see some Panthers. Panther can do pretty well against an Su-85. It's a very fast tank, and it is, very capable of killing the Su-85. It's not very good or not as great as an Su-85 as far as anti-tank capabilities, with its main gun, but it does a decent amount of damage, so it'll kill an Su-85 and outmaneuver it. Up north, conscripts running into Grenadiers, hitting the dirt right in front of them. Grens could rifle lane right in this spot, but the Panzer Grenadiers decide to actually take the initiative and go right on top of the conscripts, doing a lot of damage. Grenade landing right on top of the Panzer Grenadiers, doing a lot of damage, down to 2 men, down to 1 man on the retreat, but it manages to get out of there. Very lucky there for Tristan, because the Grens were there to both take shots and distract. Second Gren squad, outnumbering this guard squad, and the Su-85 is trying to shoot the Grenadiers as much as it can, but the Grenadiers do end up retreating since the conscripts with the DP light machine guns are falling right on top of them. A munitions cache getting built by Tristan. Interesting choice. You don't see that often. And we also see a sniper getting produced for Ir0nRoman, so that's going to be quite useful, especially against the Panther Grenadiers. So we'll see what ends up happening there. Combat engineers and conscripts pushing into the center. AT gun or PAG gun backs off. And Tristan got himself his Doctrine, and that is the Jaeger Infantry Doctrine. So we may see G43s. We actually already see G43s, never mind. So G43s equipped on the Grenadiers there, which also gives them the casualty interrogation. It says interrogate enemy casualties to briefly reveal all enemy residents in the minimap. So when you kill an infantry and you see them crawling around, you can go use that ability on the hold on, let me see, does it actually have a cost? No, it doesn't have a cost. Cool. So you can use that to spot everybody in the map for a small amount of time. I don't know exactly how long, but it's until it's nice. So anyway, anyways, up north we see a conscript squad pushing away at Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers now running right on top of the conscripts. Panzer Grenadiers also getting veterancy 2. At veterancy 2, Panzer Grenadiers get armor bonus and a cooldown reduction, which means that they shoot a lot faster. But the Soviet snipers are running straight at those Panzer Grenadiers. They're going to take a shot. Down goes one Panzer Grenadier, and the conscript decides to get the dirt right in front of them. Panzer Grenadiers continue to run forward. They can throw a bundle lane right on top of this conscript squad, but no. Well, actually they do. But the conscripts retreat way before that happens. Sniper takes another shot at the Panzer Grenadiers and brings them down to 2 men. Snipers just maneuvering. Panzer Grenadiers right at the edge of their range, and they're going to back off and stay on the field. No, they decide to retreat, though doesn't want to lose that veterancy. There they go. Down south, guard rifles going for the points in the south, and Grenadiers running out of the base to meet them. We do have two Grenadier squads, one with G43s, one with LMG, capturing that strategic point again in front of Ir0nRoman space, and cutting off the entire south once more. So the guard rifles trying to hold their own. They do have that DP light machine gun, which means they do a decent amount of damage to infantry, but they are outnumbered, outgunned right now, and they are forced to retreat. All 4 men stay alive on both spots. LMG opening up on the guards as they retreat. G43 shooting as well, doing quite a bit of damage, but 2 men still alive. They will be able to make it out of there. One actually falls, and the G43s continue to shoot, but the guards make it out of there. LMG also sees that a PTRS rifle gets dropped right in front of them. They need to pick that up, and do they? No, Tristan is very reluctant in picking up enemy weaponry. I suppose he doesn't want to lose the anti-infantry capabilities, but I mean, this is quite a blow to the guards. But oh, very nice. The flamethrower, the Sippo, gets ignited on that Grenadier squad, combat engineer squad, down to 1 man. Luckily for the squad, the 1 man was far away from his flamethrower companion, and the conscripts run right on top of the flames and hit the dirt in front of it. Very nice. Molotov landing on the Grens. The Grens dodge that quite easily. They get themselves heavy cover and opening up with their LMG with a second Grenadier squad there for support. We do hear some shots somewhere. Pack gun shooting? Yeah, I think it's a pack gun shooting, so nothing really happening. Grenadier squad at 2 men, veterancy 3 retreats, and the Grenadier over here, 1 man left. Sniper aiming at it, needs to retreat. The sniper repositions itself, and the Grenadier barely makes it out alive, but the PTRS rifle gets dropped and left on the field. I mean, at this point, there's 2 PTRS rifles that could get equipped on 1 squad, which would make it quite formidable. But, well, again, Tristan is kind of reluctant. Panzer Grenadiers could be the ones to upgrade with that, but I mean, they don't do as much damage as the Shreks, obviously, but, you know, kind of works. Also, they get cooldown reduction, so rather fast, but, well. We'll see what happens. So anyways, the G43 is over here. Can they actually capture it? Yeah, they can as well. But, well, doesn't look like there's any interest in doing that, which is unfortunate.
Looks done to me.
So the squad's running to the church. And the sniper for Ir0nRoman is just moving around, shooting at whatever it can.
We're taking panzer fire!
Grenadiers in the house take a shot from the sniper, but it misses. The Su-85 starts opening up in the house to try to reduce, reduce the church to a pile of rubble. Snipers taking some shots from the G43s. They're trying to get some shots off on the church itself. But the G43s are now opening up on the snipers, doing quite a bit of damage. It's a very risky maneuver there by Ir0nRoman. Obviously, with the Soviet snipers, you do have 2 men, meaning that it's a little bit easier to keep them alive if you lose 1 G43. And the G43s jump out of the house. Those PTRS rifles still on the field, probably now getting picked up again by Ir0nRoman. There's 1 down south, and there's a guard rifle squad right on top of them. This is the guard rifle squad that actually lost its PTRS rifle, so it's right there, but Ir0nRoman not it. LMG equipped Grens, ripping that guard squad to shreds. Veteran C3, in fact, but it barely makes it out alive. PTRS rifle gets dropped. There's once again 1 on the field. The PTRS rifle over here did get picked up. Yeah. So the guard squad did pick up the PTRS rifles. They go for the 3rd one. So this guard squad actually has a lot of anti-tank capabilities now. Still no tanks on the field for Tristan. He built himself his tier 4 and has not done anything with it up until this point. So nasty nade there by the guard rifle, killing that Grenadier squad. Last man tries to retreat and gets annihilated. And a second Panzer Grenadier squad is getting produced. The original one died at some point. Where? I do not know. Probably up north here. We see a Panzer Grenadier dead right there. And one more dead here. And who knows where the others are, but there is a conscript squad up north, so yeah, the Panzer Grenadiers ended up dying in combat. Sniper, however, did get taken out for Ir0nRoman, so that's a little bit of a nice thing for Tristan. But Ir0nRoman is now building himself that howitzer, and will start obviously barraging with it. Conscripts up north get pushed away by MP42 and Vet3 Grants. The PTRS in the center still there. And the G43 Grants get rushed by a conscript squad, managed to kill one of the men in there, but are forced off. Medic bunker is in the field. Panzer Grenadiers here in the field right now. And yeah, so small amounts of lull. Victory point wise, Tristan sitting at 407, while Ir0nRoman is now down to 283. Sorry. Not a you know, he is losing in the victory point count, but less, I mean, still more than halfway there, so not a point for much worry just yet. So neither player getting any additional vehicles or artillery. I mean, a Katusha or Cancer Warfare would be great right now, but Tristan, again, not really interested in building any tanks. He doesn't have a lot of power. And artillery rounds are landing in the base, landing on the bunker over on the left-hand side. Defending the southern approach. Another shot lands right there, and we see the... Oh, nice shot there. Actually hits one of the men on the MG42. Here comes the shots. One more. Lands right in front of me, but not hitting anything. There's nothing left in base. And here comes one more shot.
Scout car has arrived.
One more shot as well. So, very lengthy barrage there. And a scout car gets called into the field. A very interesting choice. Second Su-85 getting produced for Ir0nRoman. So that scout car has its minutes counted. PTRS rifle gets dropped right in front of everything. The PTRS rifle over here got picked up, so it's probably the same one that got dropped. So, yeah, Tristan not able to utilize the enemy weaponry for himself. Up north, Grants, Veterans 3 running into guards. The guards are Veterans 1, so they don't really do much. And a rifle they could get tossed on these guards. They're kind of clumped up. But instead, the Grenadiers decide to mingle with them right there, point-blank range, doing a lot of damage to the guards, actually bringing them down to 3 men already. And these Grenadiers don't even have machine guns or anything. The DP line machine gun does manage to rip through one of those Grenadiers, killing it. But the scout car is going straight into the base and gets instantly killed by the Su-85. But it does allow Tristan to get in range to throw a light artillery barrage right on top of the artillery gun. However, the artillery barrage does not manage to connect. Almost. There we go. The last shell of the barrage manages to hit that howitzer, and down it goes. So at least Tristan managed to put good use out of it. MG42 set up in the center in that wall, being able to do a lot of damage. With no sniper on the field right now, there's not a lot for it to worry about. No mortars or anything as well. Up north, MG42 and Pioneers forcing that conscript squad to retreat. And we have Veterans and 3 Grenadiers capturing a victory point while taking some hot shots at the retreating conscripts. So Ir0nRoman right now still in a losing position, even though he does have 2 Su-85s. There is, however, a pack on the field, which is why the Su-85s can just simply roll forward and start shooting at the base. But yeah. Su-85 in the center spots these Grens down south, takes some shots at them, but the Grens just move around and get out of sight.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
There are the 2 G43s on the squad. Very nice rifles. Sounds pretty cool. Almost sounds like a sniper. And the Panzer Grenadiers are heading straight up to the center. Nice bundle laid on top of the conscripts, and they managed to dodge it quite nicely. Nice reaction time there for Ir0nRoman. And the combat engineers at Veterancy 2 don't get any defensive buffs or combat buffs. What happens at Veterancy 2 is that they improve the squad's preparedness. And at Veterancy 3, it does the same. It just gives them an ability that they don't take additional damage while preparing.
We are losing a sector.
Grenadiers in the center forced to retreat through the two S-85s, but the S-85's not killing them pretty much. Pack-on in the center does take a shot at the S-85, doing a little bit of damage at about 20%, or 20% damage that is, but it just gets out of the way. Conscripts pushing into the center, but there is an MG42 already set up there that will get suppression off on the conscripts. The conscripts do get range to throw a Molotov, but they don't. They end up having to retreat, and the Pack-on as well just backs off preemptively. Up north, pilots capturing the victory point, so victory points are going to start taking triple time against Ir0nRoman. He is now down to 200 points, so he is going to be getting in a very desperate position. Currently double capped, taking 2 per turn, and getting triple capped very shortly. That's going to bleed it down very quickly, so Ir0nRoman needs to go all out and regain control of the map. Second sniper now on the field for Ir0nRoman. We'll start working on those MG42s and such, but there's nothing right now there for them to shoot at. Well, it does shoot at the MG42 and gets shot in return from the Pack-on, and the Pack-on nails one of the snipers and forces it to get out of there. It was the spotter, however, so the sniper man or woman stays alive. That looks like a man this time. Grenadiers pushing in force down south. One of them getting Molotov by a PPSH conscript. Although all the conscripts are PPSH equipped right now, so not much of a point to, you know, make a distinction. And they are forced away. Guard rifle Veterancy 3 facing up against 2 Grenadier squads. One with an LMG and one with G43. Second G43 squad moves in and is going to start putting the hurt on that Grenadier squad. I mean that Guard squad. And we also have a Panther on the field for Tristan. So he did go for the Panther finally. Gonna try to catch one of those Su-85s out of position. The Su-85s are currently separated. One of them heading up north, the other one down south, engaging against Infantry. Grenadiers push forward, trying to get in range to the Su-85 to be able to get a Faust off, and they managed to do that. The second Su-85 is currently up in the north, currently damaged at about half health, and the Panther is going straight for him. He stopped Snow in the center, doesn't know exactly where they went. He sees the Su-85 running, gets in range, throws the Faust, and the Panther is now in pursuit of this Su-85. The Su-85 is now damaged and snared. There goes the damage from the Panther, and the sniper is also in a kind of a bad spot. Panther needs to continue to chase it down and try to get the kill as quickly as he can. Takes another shot but misses. Su-85 continues to crawl out of its way. The second Su-85 up north turns around and is heading back home as fast as it can. But the... oh, very nice. Buttoning going down on the Panther. The Panther does not have smoke to be able to break out. Doesn't have it on the Doctrine. But the buttoning goes off and the Su-85 is going to get bombarded. Combat engineers trying to repair it. There goes, nice shot goes off from the Panther. Nails that Su-85, and that was a Stuka close air support. Shoots at the Su-85. The second Su-85 is now on the field, but it is at about half health, so it's very risky for that Su-85 to try to do anything. Panther ripping those conscripts as they approach. There is no infantry there for support. These, you know, Grenadiers could move up over here to try to defend and support. These Grenadiers are currently capping, but the veteran C3 Grenadier squad decides to retreat. Su-85 heads into the center, just trying to defend, and the Stuka barrage goes in on the conscripts. They get nailed by the Panther as they retreat. But the Stuka apparently is not as impressive as the as the Soviet counterpart, the Sturmovik. Let's see what the barrage goes for. Getting ready for the next flight, and here it comes. That's a lot of damage to the squad, but more damage to the Su-85. The Su-85 taking quite a beating now, backing off and heading back home. Panther currently up north, doing a little bit of damage to the guard rifles, and the guard rifles are forced to retreat. The Soviet sniper is nowhere to be seen, essentially back at base. So the infantry have nothing to fear from. And yeah, the Su-85 just backs off into the base and is going to start getting repaired by the combat engineer. Combat engineer going to get reinforced as they're repaired. And yeah, the Panther just stays there. Obviously, I mean, we can see here that if Tristan had gone for it, he could have potentially gotten a second Su-85 kill, but there was no way for him to know that. And there's the second Su-85 about to pop. Should be popping right now. Pop. 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 There it goes. Su-85 pops, so again, it's a very risky maneuver for the Panther, but with a second Panther, no, actually, that's a Broombar. Very nice. I like that. You don't see the Broombar that often, it's just nice to see it. G43 is opening up on the approaching conscripts. Panther moves in for support, taking some shots and missing, but the Broombar says, move out of the way. I know how to deal with infantry. I'll fix this. And instantly kills. Actually, it didn't kill anybody, just did some splash damage. Oh, Sniper gets nailed by the Broombar. Forced to retreat quite instantly. Can he nail it one more time as it retreats? No, the Sniper makes it out of there alive. Conscripts up north, engaging the Pioneers. Pioneers need to retreat. There are PPS agents right on top of them, down to 2 men. Oh, these Pioneers are dead. Pioneers down to 1, and there they go. So, a little bit of a misplay there by Tristan. He wasn't paying attention to that. And the Packman actually nails one of the guard rifles as they were capturing the point. Panther heads straight into the center and is going to run into the Su-85. The Su-85 will be able to shoot it quite heavily in a nice barrage. There goes, first shot goes off on the Panther and it backs off. No, actually continues to push forward and gets shot a second time from the second Su-85 and now gets buttoned by the guards. A very bad maneuver there by Tristan. Might lose his Panther, but it manages to break free from the buttoning and backs off. Still taking quite a punishment and down to about 10% health. Pack gun does set up to stop the Su-85 from approaching. The Broombar takes a nice shot there at the
sector has been cut off.
Combat engineer's main gun gets destroyed on the Su-85, and there comes the Stuka barrage, and it nails the Su-85. Very nice, closer in support, and the second Su-85 is now down to about half health. The Panther still on the field, however, it is very severely crippled or damaged, so it cannot afford to do much. And there are no, actually no, there is a Pioneer squad. Brand new Pioneer squad just heading into the field right now. Just gotta be preparing that Panther. Stuka coming in for another pass. Is it gonna go for the conscripts or is it gonna go? No, it's gonna go for the Su-85. There it goes. A lot of damage. Main gun destroyed on the Su-85, and the Su-85 is now a sitting pile of rubble there. It is gonna try to get repaired from the Stuka, but Ir0nRoman needs to back the hell off of there. Oh, nice shot there from the Broombar. Nails that conscript squad and forces the retreat. Stuka is coming around for another pass. There it goes, moving out of range, and here it comes. There it comes, and boom, 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 boom. Out of control, down goes the Su-85, and the combat engineers have nothing left to do and force the retreat. So very nice moves there by Tristan, pretty much sealing the deal here. Ir0nRoman down to 78 points, currently double capped. He's going to start bleeding. We see Grenadiers going up to the north, forcing away a conscript squad. Infantry-wise, we have 3 Grens and a Panzer Grenadier squad against 2 conscripts and 2 guard rifles with a sniper for support. So infantry-wise, Ir0nRoman's actually in a decent spot, but with the presence of the Broombar, that Broombar just rips through infantry and really gives no shits about it. Down south, guard squad is going for the cap on the point, trying to slow that bleed. He's currently only bleeding 1 point per tick, considering that the point up north is decapped. And he will be able to cap that point, stopping the bleeding for a second, but then the points will continue to bleed 1 point at a time. So he has a little bit of time, but not a lot. Katusha does get called in, but I mean, it was a good call in while you had 2 Su-85s, but at this point it's not going to do much. Barrage falling straight into the center, might be able to hit the infantry here for Tristan, and not actually nailing anything. There we go, finally nails one of the guys. No, it actually, there we go, 1, 2, 3 kills. Conscripts pushing into the center, Panther and Broombar already there to anticipate or stop them. MG42, and oh my god, yeah, that just got wrecked. Conscript squad goes down instantly. Suicide squads, combat engineers, and conscripts continue to push into the center where everything is, and Ir0nRoman throws in the towel. So very nice play there by Tristan, giving him a very nice victory. Those Stuka strafing runs were just deadly. That was pretty much what he needed. So very nice. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.